These are the parts to the steering damper. This is the damper itself, and then there's a sort of a rack and pinion design here which moves this plate in and out, and on the other side of the plate is a pin which the damper fits on, and by moving the pin closer to the center of the steering, there's less resistance by the damper because it doesn't move. And when you get all the way over, there's no damping. Now in the position shown is maximum damping. And the damper rod slides in. It's got gear teeth on it that match the rack teeth on the plate. And as you twist the knob here, which mounts on the other end of the rod, you're moving the plate back and forth, so you're changing how much of the damping is being used as you turn the handlebars back and forth. Now these attach with a cup and a retaining clip that slides through two little holes on the side and then loops over the back here like that to secure it onto a ball, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's a pretty simple mechanism. This whole cover plate then is secured by these two screws. They're Allen heads that go in here, and they go up into the bottom plate on the steering. The acorn nut that secures the top clamp plate has a hole in the middle, and that's what the rod comes up through, and then the knob mounts on the top with a Phillips head screw. So this is the bottom of the steering stem, which is hollow, and that's where the damper rod slides in. And then there's a screw hole on either face here. That's how you secure the rack mechanism to the bottom. You just slide the rod up through the hole, and then it'll slide in like that, so that the gear teeth are just exposed and they'll engage with the rack. So I push the damper rod up and just temporarily put the screw in with the damper knob, and I set the damper knob to number 2 because that's the position that the rack is in. And the other thing that goes in here is there's a little plastic sleeve that fits inside the hole on the steering stem nut and goes into the hole on the knob. So the plate's mounted, and I put a little blue Loctite on the two Allens because there's no lock washers and I don't want them to fall out. I also lubricated the rack teeth on the plate here and the teeth on the damper rod, so that should keep them happy. And I'm ready to install the damper itself. On the cross member on the frame that's used to mount the oil cooler, there's a little bracket and a ball, and that's where the end of the damper goes, and it's the end with the long arm. And then the other end of the damper will fit on the ball on the plate on the steering damper mechanism. So I have the lower cup mounted over the ball and the pins inserted, and I've got the upper ball mounted here and the pin is inserted, and the damper is on the number 2 position. So if I move the steering around, you can hopefully watch the behavior of the plate as I rotate the knob. There we go, that's 1, and that's no damping, because at that point, if I move the handlebars, you see, there's no damping, it's just pivoting on the ball. The damper knob is set to 0, and as I turn the handlebar, yeah, you see that whole mechanism here, the whole damper mechanism, is not moving. Now if I move to 1, you'll see there is movement in the damper, so you're getting some steering damping. But if I move to 2, then there's much more motion of the damper as I move the handlebar, so the damping goes way up. That's how the mechanism works.